Hello, Carrie. Good afternoon. Just sitting here hitting that emit button.
Good afternoon. How is everybody today?
Doing good, Karen. How are you?
The same, living the dream.
Hmm.
Aren't we all?
Oh, so let's sound off. What's the temperature like where you are, Beth?
Oh, it's like cold and like just balmy. But it was warmer this morning, then it got cold again. It just keeps going back and forth. You don't know what to wear, just layer up.
Yeah.
How about you,
Well, I
Karen?
was
We hit 70 today.
Oh, send me some.
but
Mark, what about
we're
you?
supposed to we're
Uh,
supposed to get some unprecedented cold tomorrow.
oh
I
my,
say unprecedented. It's supposed to get down to 57.
that'll help. That'll help me feel a little more evened out here.
I was in Chicago today in Midway Airport, and I looked outside and it was fine. And then 5 minutes later, it was blizzarding. So
Oh.
luckily, we were only 30 minutes late leaving. Thank goodness. So I don't know if it stopped or not.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, I was in New York last week and we didn't get any snow. And honestly, I love the cold. I know you guys are probably like, you weirdo, but I love the cold. So I was in my glory. I came back, I got off the plane, and the minute I walked through the gangway, I was like, got hit by the heat, and I was like, ugh. So I'm looking forward to this. NBC next week, Beth.
I'm sending it down to you, and then when you come up here next week, I'll make sure you have snow. How about that? No, I'm no
Okay.
snow, no
I
snow.
hope. I hope that's a promise.
I know, right? We'll have to shuttle everybody in for our seminar.
I would love it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm looking forward to having you. And when I jump into I refreshed our intro for our Wednesday open meetup. So I have some fun pictures in there, Karen. And I also have a note on some of these events so we can talk about that seminar too.
Okay.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Cool. All right. Well, it seems like our emitting moment has slowed down. So I'm going to go ahead and break away from that to kick off our meeting today. And I'm really excited to have all of you here. Every month that we're doing this open meeting with a co-host, it has just been taking up in numbers of attendees and interest. And I think this is one of the best things that we can do to just better ourselves in this industry is take the time to connect and hear what is someone else doing for our product and service, because I've been finding even within the vendor space that the vendors are starting to need another vendor to help them. So this is a space where, we have title offices on the line. We have our dealers that are involved in the space. And we also have those that are in government affairs on the line, a wide range of attendees. And I really just want to say a big thank you for kicking off this new year with such of an interest for these Wednesday meetups, because there's so much going on and I don't want to miss an opportunity to share something out there that can help better another office. And so today's meeting is recorded. We did launch a YouTube channel 4 episodes ago. So if you haven't seen that, we do have a YouTube channel out there with our open meeting recordings. So that way, anyone that is looking for, a recording, or they just want to privately sit down and see what a vendor has to offer to the community, they can do so. So today I'm going to go through a brief intro just to give you guys highlight and updates from NIFTA standpoint, our National Independent Vehicle Title Agent Association, which we launched in March of 2024. I will say, and also a very big thank you to my board members that are showing up for these. We have Karen Matera, our chair, on. We have Tracy Lean, our vice chair, on today. We have John Stuck, one of our general members, on today. And we also have a founding business partner, Stephen from AutoData Direct. So I really appreciate you guys being here, continuing to roll over that support for our association in 2026. But I'm really excited for today because we got a special guest, a brand new guest that just started working with me about his company. And I'm going to be going into a brief introduction on him in just a moment. I know you can see his face on the screen. Then go ahead and give him a wave. There you go. All right. So what we'll do is we're going to give him opportunity to school us today on what his company has been working on in AI space for the dealerships. And I encourage any of you, if this is not something that might benefit you directly in your office because you're running a tag agency, or you're just working out of your office in a professional management position, this is something I really recommend to your clients. So if you're processing for dealers, this is something that you can get involved in to help promote to the dealerships to help drive the traffic and support their customers. So I'm not going to steal too much of the thunder there, so I'm going to go ahead and can you guys go ahead? Can you see the presentation okay, the thing that we have for the intro? I just want to check with you. See our screen? Okay, yeah. All right, perfect. So you can see that great logo there from AutoDigg AI. And just a couple of fun pictures. Thanks, Tracy, for that thumbs up. So I had to go ahead. I've got to make this fun. You know, it can be really dry with webinars. It can be like, okay, we're working, we're multitasking, but not paying attention. But I try to make mine not like podcasty, but I guess we can say a little podcasty. We want to make it a little fun, a little light. So I added in these wonderful pictures of our group this year. Yes, and Stephen, you're in there too. So I'm glad you were on today. But these are just some pictures to highlight some of what we did during our travels through 2025. Some of our partners. We also have the chair for, I had a couple people drop off and need to remit. I have a couple of photos here, but we have Ian Grossman is also someone that's in this picture with Tracy and I. Ian is the president for AMBA. So if anyone doesn't know a face to that name, that's Ian right there. We have Karen and I'm not sure what's happening, but I know we have a massive Verizon outage going on. So I'll keep re-emitting people if that's what's causing it. But anyhow, let's see. Devane, can you hear me okay? Because it seems like something, okay, I appreciate it. Thanks for the backup. All right, so this is also really just to drive in to everyone our mission and vision statement. You know, I really think it's important for anyone who's not aware of what we're doing, who we are, why we're here. Here's NIFTA's mission and vision statement, also posted on our website all the time. Feel free to refer to it if there's somewhere where we connect and what you're doing, it's something that aligns with you, reach out, just like the Bang did, and said, hey, Beth, I see what you're doing. Let's partner together and let's share to each other's network the good work we're doing. So that's how we all grow. Just a couple more slides that I have. This is just one to highlight our upcoming events. We do have some big events coming up next Friday's big DC auto show tag and title seminar. I'm really excited this year that we're going to have the vehicle services team from AMVA there. And Lori, if you didn't know about that, now you do. But Marcy Coleman and her team will be there to present a national overview and demonstrate what's going on for changes towards electronic titling. Thanks, Lori. But we also have DC, Maryland, and Virginia DMVs in attendance. So we've got a lot of great vendors that are going to be coming to join us. So keep an eye out for future events like that. We'll be doing more of those types of seminars and hopefully at more auto shows. February 11th, we're going to have our next webinar. So that's just a reminder, same type of webinar we're having here today. And we are working to bring in the Michigan Secretary of State. So I have a really good close colleague, David Workman, that I have been in communication with over the last couple of years, just to make sure that we keep in the loop on Michigan updates. So he's going to be coming in on the next one. And then just a quick reminder for a kind of a future out there event. We are going to be having our first event in Maryland, our Drive Smart Maryland event. We're going to be doing these in other states in the future, but this is where we can start to share with the public side of the counter fraud prevention and help to implement the MDL or mobile driver's license. So there'll be more coming out on our LinkedIn page on those February, that May event. If anyone does need help for next Friday's registration, just reach out to me. Happy to help you. All right, and then just some more fun pictures. This is just a copy of our flyer for next Friday's event. Just some fun photos that we've had from over this past year again, and some of our partners with these events that are coming up. So we really appreciate them, especially MDOT, the Maryland MVA, Motor Vehicle Administration. Our administrator in the state of Maryland is absolutely wonderful. Chrissy is so on it, on top of our industry. And so I just want to take a quick moment to highlight them and thank them for what they do to support us. And then now to kick it off, I'm sorry this one came out a little blurry. Maybe I was up too late on this one photo, or it didn't upload properly, but let's go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass over the mic, the screen to you. But I just want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, share some things about your background, anything you want to share even personally, if there are certain things that you like to do as hobbies. This is one of those open spaces that we want to kind of get to know you, to make a connection. I want to really thank you for the partnership that you have reached out to NIVTA about. I am really excited to help support you and the product you have, because my background of being in the dealership space, I know how much the consumers need nowadays to really get down to the nuts and bolts of what they're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. You're in good hands, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Beth. Hi, everyone. My name is Devang. I am based out of Austin, Texas, and I moved here from New Jersey. So it's been a transition, but I love Austin and I love Texas, to be honest. My daughter goes to school here, and one of the things which when I moved from Northeast, I was like, I'm gonna miss these trees, the whole green, and it's so beautiful, right? But trust me, Austin is green. If you go to Dallas, Dallas is flat, but Austin is just gorgeous, right? It is so cool. I always say to my friends, if you want to compare Austin, it's like Williamsburg of New York. That's how cool it is, right? It's really, really cool. It's fun. So that's where I am located. I am a father of 10-year-old, married, work, and this is what I'm going to represent, what I work on. So let me share my screen. And the presentation is is more of an interactive presentation. So feel free to ask any question at any time. So let me just start the presentation. Okay, so the presentation is more mainly focused on how the buyers search the inventory, and the gaps we have identified, where we fit in, and the journey we have been through, and what our learnings are, and we can share that with you and take any questions you have, and also we can learn few things from you guys. So we are, hold on, hide this. Okay, so let me ask you a question. So how many people, you can give thumbs up, likes, have bought a car from dealer's website? The answer is almost all of us, right? At some point of time. Now, the first thing which we do when we go to a dealer website is to search for cars, right? We don't want to talk to any bots, or we don't want to read any instructions. All we want to get to is the car we are looking for in the fastest possible manner, right? We are not interested in anything else. Now, the problem is, as a buyer, we know what car we want in our own language, right? In a human language, and usually there is a need behind buying a car. So we usually, a person buys a car when there's a life-changing event, like someone gets married, someone goes to school, someone has a new job, whatever. So there is a need behind buying a car. Now, to convert that need into a drop-down menu, is a problem, right? So that's a translation problem, and we rely on customers to translate it for us, and that's where the problem is, because not everything can be translated into a drop-down filters, and not everyone is a car expert who knows what trim, make, model they might fit their requirement, right? And that's the gap. So the gap is between buyer intent, what they actually want, versus the website understanding, right? What the site can interpret. That's the gap, and this gap is one of the reasons why the customer usually bounce off from dealer's website, because it creates a lot of frustration, friction, and uncertainty. And this is the gap where we actually fit in. We create a plugin which can interpret buyer's intent in a plain English language. In fact, we support 99 different languages. We take natural queries and convert into meaningful results, right? We are not a chatbot, just so you know. We're not a marketplace, and we integrate right into a dealer website, giving them their dealer's inventory result. So with that said, um, is there a question? I just want to take any question before I can jump to demo.
I don't see any questions in the chat. And I just wanted to let you know that I am monitoring that for you as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Doing great. No, this is
Yes.
really good and informative. Oh.
Okay, awesome. So let me just toggle to the demo page, right? So this demo is based on our inventory. It doesn't represent any dealer's inventory, for just for security purposes. So the pictures might not be justified, right? So this is a plugin which we train. Behind this is an AI which is trained on dealer's inventory. So if I ask anything, so there can be multiple different needs for buyers, right? Say my kid is going to college and I want to get her a good car which is safe, right? Not too big, has a good mileage. So this is an emotional search, right? So this converts, if you look at this, it will convert into the inventory which fits um, dealer's website, right? So looking at dealer's inventory, it will parse out all the cars and it will start showing. So it generated all these filters based on just this is just yeah this it generated all the filters based on the query, right? Which fits users needs, right? And now if you see you can see all the different cars which has been filtered out. Now this is on top of it, it's more of a conversational. So you can say, okay, this is cool now, but say I can type, but my kid likes red. I don't even have to say color, right? So it will know what you're talking about and it will add on top of it. So it won't erase the filter. It will add red on top of it. It's like having a conversation with really smart salesperson, right? And it will start showing you cars which are red in color, right? And also it's so if say for instance you want to move on to next thing, you have done buying car for your kid, now you want to buy a car for yourself. So that's a change in context, right? So if I just type in different context, which is whole different ballgame, which says luxury car below 40K, and if I search for it, it will identify that this is a change in context and it will start showing different cars, right? So it's very intuitive and very smart in a way that it understands what you're asking for and it relates to the history and it understands and shows according to your needs.
We do have a question in the chat box if you want to take it, Ron.
Sure.
All right. So Mary is asking a question about some statistics. She says, how many people search for a car like this? Do you
Sure.
have a percentage?
Yeah. So we have few dealers who are using it, and almost all the search queries are now based on um, our uh, our plugin, right? Almost everything. So people don't usually use drop down menus anymore once they have these options. So I would say 80% at the least, being pessimistic, right? And and on top of it, this gets to the results much faster, and it helps with better conversion as well. So it's well informed buyers with less friction. It generates it is better overall, I would say.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so So the next thing is, and it's again, just start talking about the same thing. We find less friction, better qualified leads, and this again integrates on the existing website. So you don't have to change any workflows or any of the websites or anything on your end, right, on the dealer end, and it adds to the value better than any chat box or anything you already have on the website, which helps conversion, right? So we have been out there since 3 months, 4 months actually, and we are what we do is, and this is more for transparency, that we are engaging with dealers, we are engaging with local dealers, especially in Austin, and they are very interested, right? And just because they want to help local startup, and they see value in this as well. So few things challenges we are facing is we are trying to change the way cars are searched. So it's there is a little bit of learning curve for buyers, for customers, and then dealers trust also takes time. So that is where we are, and we that's why we want to make sure before we expand, we want to make sure we have done our homework, we have trained our AI into perfection, in which we already have with existing dealers. So we have a small pilot group. We are learning, and if you see, we just have one feature which converts the query, but we there is a reason why we just have one feature and we have not added more, is because we want to learn from our pilot, and we want to get feedback, and we want to improve, and we want to see what dealers need, um, and then improve from them, rather than we just putting all the bells and whistles. With that said, I think thank you for the opportunity, Beth and team and everyone, for the time, and I'll be more than happy to take any questions, or or maybe connect offline if you need be.
Perfect. Well, there is one more in the chat for you, Meng. So I was going to share with you, Mary has another question. So for dealers currently using this, what types of vehicles are being sold, new and or used? And if used, what is the average vehicle price?
Oh, we are in mainly in local dealer, which is both new and used. And there is one 512 Auto, which is only which is independent dealer, and it's only used. And I think the average price is around 25 K between both dealers.
And I think some of what we've talked about too is where they're at now that they've added this product in. That's some of what you and I have been touching base on. What has been the effect of this? Can you touch on that a little bit? The results that they're seeing. Is it helping them with staffing? The benefit factor, I'm guessing, maybe is what I'm
Sure.
looking for.
Sure. So when we have seen more conversions, like at independent dealer, it says 2.5% more conversions, right? Because they can make informed decision, and but only reason of they going and getting the deal to the car faster, with today's attention span, right? The faster you get, the better the conversion. So they are saying, so one of the independent dealer we have, it says we have 2x conversion, better conversion, because of just this plugin, right? And we are very reasonable with the pricing and everything as well. So they are extremely happy, and the initial result is really good. And the car, so also the time it takes for them is 7x faster for a customer to get to a car, which is a big thing, if you look at the customer journey. So that's a big win.
Yeah, definitely. I see Tracy is definitely agreeing with that. Tracy, do you want to chime in on anything? I know you talk with a lot of dealers about the problems they have, how they're working with customers. I know we've had a lot of conversations around AI. I don't know if you want to chime in anything, because I know you're active on your like button right now. And if I called her out, she's my vice chair, so fair game. That's okay. She may not be able to get to audio. That's okay because I saw her go in and out a couple of times. So, but that's okay. Does anyone have any other questions? We'll go ahead and just open it up in case anyone else. I think that might be what it is. Okay, yeah, it's her mic. She's having audio issues. But if anyone else has any other questions, feel free to come off unmute. I think, just like was said, this is newer company. We see a lot of newer companies coming out to the industry with a lot of great ideas. And I think this is also a good time for feedback too. So, I think this is where we could put on our consumer hat a little bit and think about when we go out to a dealership website, how this would change our buying experience. And I personally, I think more and more people, I'm finding as I look around, people are going out to AI like it is their internet search bar. So I really feel that naturally, especially coming with a sales background in the vehicle space, I think that this is a really helpful tool because by the time that customer comes on site, it's not maybe 10 cars in mind, but they've really narrowed it down, which I think when we think about that, length of time in the dealership thing, I think that a lot of people say they're still there for 4 hours plus, sometimes a whole day going through a car buying process. And, I think about myself, I do internet work before I go somewhere. So we're doing that with the car buying. And I feel like when people will walk on site, they'll basically be like, I've already looked into it and that's the one that I want. That's the end goal here. What are your thoughts there? Just curious.
So yes, so one of the things we want to do is add value to dealers, right? And because honestly, on a personal note, I have a lot of respect for dealers because not only they do what they do, but they add a lot of value to local economics. Generating jobs, paying taxes and everything. So
Yep.
I always have a lot of respect for them, and that's the reason I just want to create a product at a very reasonable price, which can really add value to their business and help them instead of just lying on somewhere on the screen. I just want to integrate something. We That's what we are trying to do. We are trying to integrate exactly where customers land, not on the bottom right of the screen with like any other chatbot. We are not that. We don't want to be that.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you being very clear on that because I think what we've all been used to as AI has been coming into the public space to use on a website in this fashion, we're all used to the chatbot. And the chatbot only goes so far, as we all know. So it's a very quick either dead end sometimes, or it just routes us to where we really just need an answer. And, now it wants us to read a bunch of FAQs. So I like the fact that, for a car buyer, this really goes down to their very specific needs. I like
Yes.
even the search bar, you can search for the red car, you don't have to mention color, sunroof, or whatever features you're looking for. So that I think that makes a big difference, especially for a used lot. That was my background as a used car lot. And, you're working with all different types of makes and models, colors, features. So I think that, the used car dealers out in the space could certainly benefit from something like this as widespread as
Well, yes, I have no doubt, and we have seen it. Also, it increases 3x. Just I forgot to mention in the amount of cars searched on their website, right? And the retention rate is also great. And there's something which we do as well is say if you don't have a car, right? Then usually the filters won't show it and then the bounce happens. What we do is we just say, okay, if you don't have Mercedes, but we have BMW, would you like that? We do our best, right?
well.
We do our best to retain them. It's not just drop down filters and just monotonous and very hard system. It's really flexible. Try to retain them, and the goal is we want to convert this or enhance this into a really smart salesperson who can get buyers into the door, right?
Mhm.
That's the goal. That's what we want to do. So, but this is the first step. Again, we want to learn a lot of things from the dealers and expand further.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, like you and I've discussed, we have a lot of conversations with our local dealer associations and other ones across this country. So I think that'll probably be our next mark with sharing some more information about your product. I'm not seeing any other questions in the chat, but if anyone has anything that they'd want to add into the conversation, whether it's on this specific topic or something in this realm, feel free to jump in. I will share a couple of other experiences that I've had. We've been working with a number of dealerships from my own personal agency in Maryland, and I've been seeing more and more a it's really difficult with onboarding sales staff. It's been very hard to find people where, in this industry, we tend to look for what's your experience. We want to be able to just plug and play an employee that is a salesperson or a title agent and know that they know what to do. Here's your computer, get going. Where we're seeing more and more with the younger generations and just people who are looking for a new skill set or a new career, especially after the pandemic time, that we have more new people, fresh faces, fresh ideas, but with little experience in the auto industry. So I think that this is a really helpful tool for when you have newer sales staff working with clients as well, because you could also do the turn and be the client on your own website as a salesperson. And that was kind of my thought, because I remember when I was selling cars, I had to refer to that website constantly. Someone would say, the price is advertised at 30,000, but I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's 32. Let me go check that website. But this would also be on the other side of the table too, that salesperson that maybe isn't as familiar or doesn't know about, in depth on the features, this is a place where they could plug it in too, right on their own website, bring it up right there for their clients. So just some of my perspective with my background and looking at this, but it's been really great talking with you and meeting with you leading up to the webinar as well, because we're in such an innovative space. I feel like we're back in like the 1900s and we're all like in a modern time of figuring out major technology changes. And this is one of them, but it's one that's to the benefit for both sides of the table, like I like to say, the customer and then also us as business owners. But it can go a long way to also show how you're modernizing as a business. So I'm curious, as you've gone in and worked with the dealers that you have and those out in the Texas community, do you have any direct feedback from them? Anything that you'd like to share or talk about that they have made it's changed the way that they're handling their customer approach in detail? I'm just curious if you have any kind of like a case study out of any of those
Sure.
dealers.
Sure. So one of the directions, so it's as of now, the product, the demo which you guys saw was what is a production demo, right? What it's there. But one of the things which dealer is asking, and it seems like a right step is to generate leads, right? Just to make it smooth for them, just to see, okay, not only show the cars, but then ask them, hey, do you like this car? If they do, what is the best? Can I get a phone number and make it like a conversation completely, right? And generate leads, right? So that's the thing they want to do, and that's where I said we want to make a really smart salesperson out of this, so that they can come in. I mean, they can bring the customers in. That's the I think synonymous, and everyone agrees with a few small group of dealers we have here. But that's something we are looking to get into. But that's a little bit bigger undertaking. But we'll get it done. Technical is not a challenge. We'll get that done, right? The,
That's
the
great.
challenge is how
Yeah.
do you integrate with the whole process, right? Because then you're changing the process. Then you have to integrate with CRM. That's again can be done, but it's more of training issues and how will it work and what will it generate. So if we are able to do that, and we will, I do have no doubt, then we'll have a lot of insight on the customer, like what they started, why are they buying this, the whole process. So it will be much more than name, number, and
Mhm.
and the car. right?
I
So it will
understand.
give you the history of customer, what are the needs and why are they getting married? What are they doing kind of a thing, you know? So yeah.
Yeah. Now, I have to ask because I know we have a multiple different types of industry on the line with us today. Do you have any do you have any plans to build out features like this in any other types of industries besides dealerships?
Uh,
And I
thanks
know
for
you're newer, so I know that I don't want to make you go down that
No,
path,
no,
but
no.
I just have to
Thank
ask.
you
I'm
for
curious.
asking me that question. Actually, I've been only focused on car industry, but one of the things, and I think there are a couple of people I'm engaging on is we can expand this into anything, anything like which has motor on it, right? Which is say uh, RVs or boats or any other industry, not only just cars. My demo was for on cars, but this can work with any automobile industry. So that's and then we want to progress towards something which is much more generic. But that's down the line. But the next step is to make this into a salesperson who's really smart, really smooth, no pushy. So we can do all of that. That's not a problem, right? Who understands the customer and get them in the door, right? That's the first thing. The second thing we want to do is expand across different verticals, which is RVs and boats and all those things. So those are the two immediate items we want to focus on simultaneously. And then from we can expand other ventures and stuff. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm in Annapolis area, so there's marinas all over the place. So
Mm.
lots of boat dealers around me, so I know about that too. I do have another question from Mary. Mary is active in the chat today, and I appreciate that. She asks, is the primary focus of your website on vehicle search functionality, and do you currently utilize any calls to action, CTAs, on the site?
Um, On my side? No, but on the dealer side, so this bar goes on dealer side, right? And as of now, it just filters it, but 100% we can that's the goal. So to capture what car they like and talk to them. Hey, do you like red Honda? Then we should actually we have to identify what cars are we showing them, and from there we need to train our AI to ask them questions, and that it's there is a call to action is going to be really smooth. Hey, do you like the car? And yes, and then that's the call of action. That's it. It goes and generates the lead once I have enough information on the customer. So I don't want I honestly think we should move away from clicking the button and the forms, right? It should be very conversational, like you're talking to another human on the side, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
And and
definitely agree.
and 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 there is we are doing on the back door, we are trying to put a voice on it. So voice is not like which we used to hear in 90s, which is very robotic, non-human, but like human voice, which take pauses, which makes mistake, which has a line breaker, and it's so that's something we are experimenting as well. So we want to put a salesperson on it, and then yep.
Yeah. So let me ask, are you taking any particular companies to do demos with you? Because or they say, we want to try it out for a 30-day period. I'm just curious if you have any programs like that. So
Sure.
that way, Mary, who's heavy here in the chat, and others that may be interacting with dealers can then share that with them. So that way they can feel comfortable to test out the product. And also, do you ever do, you take their website and you can, before you sign up, say, this is what it is on your website currently, this is what it is with the product, and kind of do testing comparison. I'm just
Yeah.
curious if you go and evaluate like that.
Sure. So we have a 30-day free policy. In fact, we have 45-day. And then if it comes from you, we can make it 2 months. But what the process is, we have to take your inventory, right? So there is, of course, A/B testing which goes and stuff because we want to make sure the AI does what it's supposed to do. So we take your inventory and we train it and we make sure it behaves, and then we give you the system to see, hey, go for it and see if you're comfortable, right? Once you say it's comfortable and you like what you see, then we put it on your production website. After that, we give you about 45 days of free trial.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Or like you said, if it comes from our referrals, 2 months, you said?
This is recording, right?
Yes. We'll put an approximate. I'm putting it in the chat.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Approximate.
All right. All right.
Approximate.
Just,
No,
yes.
I'm
Okay.
just giving you a hard time
Mhm.
now. Tracy, I see you might have settled your audio challenges, and I'd love for you to jump in because I know you, of all, you guys talk with you talk with your dealers all the time about just life and what can be things to make it better. So take it over. What
Yeah.
do you have to share in this conversation this afternoon?
Yeah. Well, let me make sure you can hear me.
Can hear you just
Oh,
fine.
good. Okay. I switched devices. Yeah, thank you, Beth. Sorry about those technical problems. Yes, I do deal with dealers all the time. And yes, I do talk about modernization all the time. In particular, with the internet, so many of them missed a beat. And one thing that I've noticed over the years, with as with all of us, is we're all technologically bombarded, and that is results in not updating your website, not monitoring your website, thinking that just having a web page works, and that is like 10, 15 years ago. And yet it goes on the back burner, just like titling and registration does, which we all know too well. So
Mm-hmm.
one thing I love about this product and this demonstration, which was outstanding, is that it really brings these dealers up into the AI times instead of, I could think of one dealer, oh my gosh, their website is like bad. It is so bad. And you know, when we go to these conferences, and I remember them talking about answering the phone, and they're like, every time you don't answer your phone, understand that you're missing a cell. Well, anytime that somebody goes to your website and they leave, you've just lost a cell. And so it is vitally important. I will recommend this to all of my dealers, and I think that this is going to catch on very quickly. It's just a matter of getting it in front of the dealers and saying, look, this is a product that's new, it's out there, and it's really good. And you're most importantly, your clients are going to like it because it's user friendly. It's not. I, I mean, and I tried to do my thumbs up when you asked if anybody has used a website to find a car. I was like pushing the thumbs up button as fast as I could. And part of the reason I've done that is because I like to see what the dealers are doing out there, and they need this desperately. I'm trying to even think of one website that I can think of that is so good they wouldn't, and I can't even think of one. So this is a great webinar. And also, Beth, one thing I love about something that you really consider with the broad network of NIFTA is that our titling agents know about this stuff. Our sub agents know about this stuff. Our independents know about this stuff. And so when we go and talk to dealers, and we can segue quickly into, let me tell you about titling and how we're modernizing there. That has changed too, and they're desperate for these services. They really are. So kudos to you for sharing this, because I know we all could talk to dealers that could use it. As far as I know, if there's a website that is so good that they don't, I certainly haven't come across it.
Yeah. Thank you, Tracy. And I have to say the same thing. You know, there's not one out there that I'm like, oh, it was a fantastic, just super easy to do it. And, you know, we're at a time where the brick and mortar dealers need support. They need to get some things updated before we have more of the online sales occurring. I mean, we all see what's going on in the news with Amazon Autos, you know, how there are other companies like, you know, with the changes and the massive growth Carvana has gone through. You know, you see kind of where CarMax is and some of the struggles that are currently going on, and it's all over the place. But I really feel, being from that brick and mortar dealership space, growing up literally in the shop, in the showroom, that the brick and mortars, that's what brings the jobs to our communities, the opportunities, like you started the the demo off of in the first place and talking about that. That's such a critical thing in our space right now, is to maintain job availability. And these dealerships really bring it. I mean, if I go into one dealership group, they've got, 100 employees right there on the one storefront handling the service parts, the whole different sectors of the dealership. So yeah, we need to give them some more support out there. The brick and mortars bring a lot to our businesses as tag agents, bring a lot of business to our communities and taxes to our states, which we all need for roads, right? And I can go on a path for that for a long time, but I won't bore you into that. And I can go on that a long time. But, I think, Tracy, there's a lot here that is very comparable to the things we're seeing in our space as well. How the last couple of webinars that we've had open to membership into the public with Fairway and their AI program reviewing our paperwork, I'm really trying to help the community that comes to check in with NIVTA where AI makes sense, where it's not a threat to your job, to your employees, but a hand for them and a way for them to really be successful in your business to be successful. And it's all about speed, right, guys? They want it immediate. Everyone wants that immediate answer. So chatbots can't even keep up with that, as we talk about today. So these are the next tools that we're looking to get put into businesses. So we're thankful for AutoDigg. We're really happy for this connection. I would say for everyone attending today and everyone that registered, we're going to send a thank you follow-up with contact information. If there's a referral link that we can share, anything there to help with anybody that's in your network that you'd like to pass this product on to, we'll make sure to put that into your follow-up email. But, I think that this has been it's a refreshing topic because we've been very heavy on title and registration. So I said, okay, so we'll see how this mixes up the conversation where we talk a little bit more about our dealer friends and a tool that's kind of really custom for them, but we know a lot about as consumers and running our own companies. So.
Devon, if I could ask you a quick question, are you going to be yourself at NADA this year or your company?
I'm going to be myself.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that'll be great.
Yes.
And are you doing private meetings to meet up with people, or do you have a booth or anything like that?
And I have scheduled a private one-on-one meeting. To be honest, I'm trying to, I shouldn't say it too loud, stay away from the floor as much as I can and get them to private meeting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Just so that
yeah,
everyone's chilled down and they are willing to listen to you, right?
yeah,
And not like, oh, there is another guy selling me stuff. I don't want to
yeah,
be that person. I'm like, tell me, how do you feel about it, right? If you don't have to buy it, but just give me your opinion. What do you think, right?
yeah.
I think
Okay,
so.
because
I have like five,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I want to connect on LinkedIn so that I can post on my LinkedIn that you're going to be there and that I endorse this product, and I want any of my dealer friends to private message you and get that out on our end, because I agree with you. Meeting one-on-one is just the most effective, especially when you're doing something new like this. I think that's just that's great. It's great.
Yeah.
I think you'll have very good success meeting with people. That's awesome.
Thank you for being so
Mhm.
kind, Tracy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And while you're there at NADA, if you need anything, feel free to ping us. We have a couple of associations that are there that are having some networking events. So keep an eye out for those association networking events, just a tip to you from the industry.
Okay.
Also, with this being said, the NADA, I think there's a lot of opportunity for booth space there. So I know you're going to be walking around in the audience this year. One of the things I would say that as you start to build and grow that success that we know and we can see that's going to happen for you, consider doing a booth space because NADA would definitely appreciate that. And I know that that's going to put you in the front of the right audience there on with the boots on the ground that attend that big show. It's a big one though.
Got it. It is a big
Both
one, yes.
Tracy and I have been there. We know.
Are you going to be there as well, right? I assume.
No,
No?
this year we're not going to be attending. It's only because we are dedicating time and resources to our one-on-one DMV visits. And
Okay.
it's just to further our working relationships. We've got a visit with West Virginia's commissioner we're working on this year, doing another visit out and working with the Washington DOL. So we've got some other things we've got to work on this year.
Okay.
we got to pull up our sleeves and do some work.
Always good.
Yes, it
Yes.
is. But, check in with us. Let us know how it is. Make a post. Please make a post on LinkedIn. We'll make sure to share it and let everyone know how it's going there at the conference this year.
Sure
But
thing.
I do want to give an opportunity. I know we're kind of winding down to the last handful of minutes. So I just want to see if anyone else has any other questions. Anything else that they want to bring up for discussion too? Anything, if anybody has any questions about our NIFTA events, this is also another time that you are welcome to chime in and talk about that. And everyone's quiet. So, oh, Karen. Hey, Karen, our chair.
Hi, how are you? I was listening. Very interesting. No, I don't. You and I need to talk though sometime the next day or two about next week.
That's fine.
So we'll reach out. I don't
That's
have
fine.
anything more to add than that. All this new technology is so impressive.
It is.
What a
And
great product.
yeah, and
Thank
Karen's
you.
down in Florida. There's a lot of dealerships there, just like in Texas. Texas has thousands of dealerships.
Yeah.
So between just those two states, you've got a lot of business there to cover.
Yeah. And I will absolutely make sure I plug after this. After this meeting, I'll go ahead and list the references and the links as well.
Wonderful, Karen. And Karen's also part of the Florida Auto Dealer Association, the independent, right, Karen? Is that correct? I want to make sure I'm accurate.
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right.
I
I
am.
wanted to make sure. No, obviously
Yep.
the chair of NIFTA, but also just because of your state for your business. I just wanted to share, your involvement with some of the
I
dealers
am.
down there.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you,
I've been
Karen.
doing this 35 years here in Florida, and
Mhm.
yeah, a lot of contacts. Feel free if you have anyone that you're looking for an introduction for in Florida or anything, feel
Yep.
free to reach out to me. And if I have those contacts, I'll be happy to do that for you.
That's so kind. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Karen. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you both so much for helping support our co-host today. Devang, I really appreciate your time. I feel like everyone's kind of at a point where we could wrap up. I don't know if you would like to put in your contact information in the chat. So if anyone wants to do a quick reach out to you right off the bat prior to that follow-up, we can put that in the chat for them before we wrap up. And if there's anything else that you'd like to add, feel free. But I do want to, while you're typing that in, thank everybody for their attendance today, checking in with us. If you are a member and you also join our other webinars, I really appreciate that. But we look forward to bringing more vendors, more of the DMVs to the table this year on our second Wednesday meetups. So, Devang, anything else that you want to add as we wrap up, since you had the
No, I
opportunity to
just
come?
want to thank you guys for the opportunity and the time, and thank you for the feedback, and you guys are very kind. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Well, we appreciate the time that you've spent to get the presentation together and answering the questions of our guests today. So
Yes.
I hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon. I'll give you guys back 5 minutes of your time. That's always a gracious gift. So
Yeah.
hopefully grab a coffee or just go take a deep breath. But